62. Now we can identify the word al-haq here. This is where this is the true.
His servants are returned to Allah, their true Lord. Unquestionably, His is the judgment. He is the swiftest of accountants.
Okay. So, in this verses again, the context is here that Allah is telling to believers, then they would return to their true Lord, and unquestionably, He is the judge. His is the judgment, and He is the swiftest in accounts. And again, so we're going to look into more example, because the true, this the only definition is Allah is the true Lord. Allah is the true reality in that way that so the people are whatever experiencing in the day of judgment, there the injustice takes place, then Allah says, don't worry about that. I am watching it, and Allah is the witnessing, and Allah is the true reality. When the day of judgment will take place, everything gonna be held accountable, and Allah will judge everything. So don't worry about it. In that context, if you look into it, that Allah is the one who will take care of all the affairs and the business in that way. So let's see some more example on that. So we'll get this also clear on this. 31:30.
That is because Allah is the true, and that what they call upon other than Him is false, and because Allah is the Most High.
Now again, this verse is very simple and clear, So we do not just to reflect on it, because Allah is the truth, and that they call upon other than Him is falsehood. So people who worship other than Allah, they are not the true reality. They didn't create anything. They did not create human being or heaven and earth, nobody. But if you worship Jesus or you worship any other than Allah, that they are not the creator. So that's exactly the Allah is the truth here, and they are the falsehood. So right away the contrast is the truth and the falsehood. And then Allah is the Most High and the Grand. Another two more attributes in this verse. Allah added into describe Himself, the full His majesty, and Al-Ali and Al-Kabir. We did cover these attributes before. See, Al-Ali, the Most High, and Al-Kabir, which is sometimes we say Allahu Akbar and Kabir. That's the attributes. And this we use Subhana Rabbiyal Ala. Allah is the Most High. That's why when the human mind, our head goes in the prostration, Allah is the Most High and we are prostrated. That shows Allah is the Most High and we are not. We are the servant of Allah. That's why we put our head into the ground. That's why that makes the prostration. Somebody said, why we use the word Subhana Rabbiyal Ala? Because Allah is the Most High. And that's why we have to submit to Allah. We have to appreciate all His glory. We have to worship Allah in the way Allah described. And that makes you more humble and kind. And that's why the people, all those kings and pharaohs and people have a power to become arrogant. And if we don't prostrate to Allah, we don't do prayer, the element of arrogance will come into ourselves. Because that's a human being. That's why one of the practices of Islam is it will make you calm down, make you humble, make you a decent human being, and caring for other people. Because Allah is also most merciful. So then you will learn Allah is more. So you have to deal with them. And this entire Islam is so beautiful. You greet people with salam. You talk about mercy. You talk about things. And you practice yourself that Allah is the most high. So I have to prostrate. So you never get the arrogance. That's why one of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if you have a grain of arrogance in your heart, you're not going to make it to the paradise. That's so important. The arrogance is not acceptable to Allah. And that's why all our prayers and practices are very important. We need to practice in that way. Because sometimes when Pharaoh said, I'm Allah, I'm the Rabb, that's why he became arrogant. He's just overruled. That's why he's false. Only Allah is al-haq. Allah is the reality. So worship Allah alone. And that is the correct religion. Wow. So the next attributes, inshallah, we covered this couple of examples. So there are many examples in that. The next attributes will go with al-wakil, the ultimate trustee, the disposer of affairs. Let's go to 3:1. In this ayah, so let's play that.
الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادهم إيمانا وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل.
Those to whom hypocrites said, indeed the people have gathered against you, so fear them. But it merely increased them in faith. And they said, sufficient for us is Allah, and He is the best disposer of affairs.
Yeah, in this verse actually it's very important. Like I said, nowadays in the media, everywhere, you see problems, the Muslims are scared, what's going to happen, Donald Trump gonna be president, what will happen to us, and all those stuff, the people go. Well, we, as a believer, we always forget about that. Who's in charge? Allah. That's the whole idea. Now, in this way, in this verse, what the hypocrites were telling, in this ayah, and when we look into this ayah again.
وليعلم الذين نافقوا وقيل لهم تعالوا قاتلوا في سبيل الله أو ادفعوا الذين قال لهم
This one. This is where the attributes of Allah is. Those to whom the hypocrites said, indeed, the people who have gathered against you, so fear them. Now that's the incident is the believers are there, some hypocrites are there, and they're trying to scare people to fear them, but it merely increase them in faith. Now if you are a true believer, Allah will increase you in the faith, and what the believer will say, sufficient for us is Allah And Allah is the best disposer of affairs. What? Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. This is one of the little dua or supplication the Muslim have to do when you see in the terms of calamity or something. Sometimes your situation comes like that. This is a small portion of the dua. Normally, we always call upon Allah, that Allah is the ni'mal wakil. And Allah is the disposer of all affairs. And this is important. So this again, a trust